Hello and welcome back to another video. In this session, we are going to continue with our discussion or with our tutorial series where we introduce ourselves to some other tags that are provided in the HTML markup language for us to use. Okay, alright, so in a previous video, we got ourselves introduced to the basic structure of an HTML document. So we said that this is how it practically looks like. At the top, we should have the document type declaration, the HTML, the opening tag, and then the closing tag. And within the HTML tag, you have some other tags in there. Alright, so for us to be able to get through this tutorial successfully, let's get to see what some of the tags that we are going to be introduced to. Okay, so we are going to talk about the heading tag, which is the H1 to H6, the paragraph tag, the anchor, the image, the break tag, the horizontal line, and then the center tag. Those are the tags that we are going to be looking at or get ourselves introduced to in this particular session. Now, to make this more interesting, we are going to create a mini project where we will try to kind of want to create a portfolio for ourselves. All right, yes, so I'm just going to create one index file. So I'll say that index.html, and then I'm just going to generate the basic structure of an HTML document, that is the boilerplate, by holding the shift and then the exclamation symbol on the keyboard. So if you're on Mac, you have to find your way around it. Alright, so this is what I'm having. Okay, now let me just change this title here to say portfolio website. All right, now let's come inside the body. That is where all the fancy styles are going to happen. So the first thing we are saying that we would want to talk about the heading tag. Okay, now this heading tag ranges from h1 to, so this is a comment. Okay, so whenever you want to create a comment in HTML, you would have to follow the following syntax: a less than, it should be a less than, exclamation, then dash dash, like that. Okay, I'm using an autocomplete something, okay, extension. That is why you can see that mine has just been completed for me like that. But this is how to create a comment. Now a comment is not part of the codes or of the things that are going to be displayed on the website. Okay, so I can say that h1 tag, so heading tag, which ranges from h1 through to h6. All right, so let's say that the higher the number, the bigger the size of the text. So if we say that we want h1 tag, which is going to be a less than, h1, then a greater than, then you make sure that you close it. I'm using an auto complete something. Let me show you, perhaps you would want to use it. So go into your extensions tab and then search for auto close. Oh, I'm not connected to the internet at the moment, but yes, this one right here, auto close tag, this is the extension that is doing the magic for me. All right, so you can get that installed. All right, so let me go back here. So the h1, I'm just going to say the text element for this one, I want it to be my portfolio. Okay, now to make this more visible and then for you to follow along what is actually happening, I'm going to open this thing inside the web browser, and then yes, so this is what we are having at the moment. So let me try and then divide the screen into two. This one right here. Okay, so whatever changes that will be going on, I believe you can be seeing it on the go, on the fly. All right, okay, yeah, so that is the heading one. Okay, now if I should change this one here to, for instance, let me say h2 and then say my portfolio again, and I'll save it. Oh, this is still h1. I want it to be h2 instead. So you can see that the size has what reduced. So the smaller I mean the smaller the number, okay, the smaller the number, that is the bigger the text, okay. The smaller the number, the bigger the text, but the bigger the number, let me just continue and then say that h3 like that, another my portfolio like that, and say this one easy. So the bigger the number, the smaller the text, and then the smaller the number, the bigger the text. So that is the h1 through to h6 tags. Let me continue with the h4. Same thing, my portfolio. Can see that h5, which is this one to my portfolio, okay. And then the last one, which is h6, no, h6, my portfolio. All right, so you can see that the bigger the number, the smaller the text. All right, so for us, we are interested in the first one, so I'm just going to get rid of all these ones and then we'll stick with the first one, okay. Okay, so now we've said that this is our portfolio website. Now let's just implement the horizontal line, okay. So let's go back to our guide, which is so we are going to introduce ourselves to this one here, the HR tag. Now what it does is that it just create a horizontal line. So let's say HR. Now you can see that this tag here is having an exception. All the tags that we've been introduced so far are having what we call an opening and then a closing tag. So what we expected was to have an opening for this and then an opening to be like something like so, okay, and then we have a closing something like that, like so. But it is not the case for HR. So this is one of the exception. This is what we call a self-closing tag. It is a self-closing tag, so you don't have to say that you want to open it and then close it. When you say that HR like so, it does a closing for you automatically like that. All right, okay. So that is an HR, and then you can see it has ruled a nice horizontal line for us like that. Okay, now let's see the next tag on the list. So let's talk about the paragraph. Okay, let's talk about the paragraph tag. Let's go back to our document and say that we want a p tag, which is a paragraph, which is going to have an opening and then a closing tag. So inside of it, let's say that my name is, let's say my name, no, let's say that we want this one to be, we are currently learning some of the available tags in HTML, and that is helping us to create a mini portfolio, website for ourselves. Okay, all right, so as you can see, immediately I save the document. Okay, whenever I want to save, just go to the file and then hit on um just save here, or you can use the shortcut, which is the control key plus S. If you're on the Mac, maybe command plus S, yes, something like that, and it just save the document for you. You see that because we are using a live server, whenever we save it, whatever changes that we've done to our document, it will just reflect like that. All right, so we don't have to come and then refresh or reload before we see the changes. We just have to save in the editor, and then it will reflect automatically here. So we've implemented how do you call it, a paragraph in our project. All right, now on top of the paragraph, I want us to introduce ourselves to one interesting tag, which is the image tag. So let me just bring it here like that. Okay, now image, just as the name implies, it allows us to include or insert images in our website. So I'm just going to say that less than, then img, then I'll close it. All right, so this is also one of the few tags that does not have a closing tag. So oh, sorry about that, that's just a motorbike inside a community like that. Okay, so let's say this is what one of the few tags, like I was saying, it is a self-closing tag. Okay, it is a self-closing tag. It doesn't have to have a closing, a opening, and then a closing tag. When you open it, that is it all. You don't have to close it. All right, it is a self-closing tag again. Now this image tag as what we call attribute. Okay, now so this is the source attribute, and then this is the alternate attribute. Okay, now this source attribute, it helps you to specify the path to the image that you would want to include in your project. And then this alt attribute here also gives a text description of for whatever the image is. So there are times that when your website or web page is loading, the image can fail to load. Okay, so instead for the page or the section that the image is in to be blank or something, a text representation will now be given for the image. So perhaps you can say that maybe my profile picture, so you now see that the text representation will now be there instead of what, the image. So let's just say that my profile picture, and then let's say we save this one. Okay, so you see that currently there isn't any image, so it has given what, the text representation. Now this also helps screen readers. Okay, yes, those who are able to navigate the website or web pages with the help of screen readers, this one also helps them a lot. So sometimes it is advisable that when you have when you are developing your website or web pages, you consider those screen readers as well. Okay, now let's specify the path to our image. Now this is one image that I included in a project folder before recording this video. So let me just open it for you to see what image it is. So this is an image of myself. Yes, so I'm just going to say that profile picture .jpg. Okay, so immediately I saved it, you see that it has reflected here like that, and this is too big. Okay, let me just try to expand this. You see, this is too big, and then we don't want it like that. So what can we do? There's another attribute called width. Okay, there is another attribute called width. So let's just introduce it here. So let's say width, and say that we want it to be only 100 pixels or something, and then save it. Okay, so at least this one looks what, a bit presentable. Okay, that's fine. So that is the image tag for you. So you can include whatsoever image that you want. So the source can be an external link, where maybe the link is situated on the website, another website, Google, Also, whatsoever place that you want to fetch the image from, you can just what put that reference in the source attribute like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be part of your project folder. Okay, all right. So that is it about the image tag. Let's continue with we've talked about the paragraph tag. Let's continue and then say that we want to include an anchor tag. All right, so what can we do with the anchor tag? Let's say that anchor, so this starts with what, less than, and then a, then we close it. So this one has what, an opening and then a closing tag like that. Take note. So this is what an anchor tag, it is used to create links. Okay, so we can use this anchor tag to create a link to Google's website, to another website, even we can even use it to create links, internal links, I mean links within the page. Okay, we can link to other sections of the page with the help of what, the anchor tags. So it is one of the tags that you'll be using more often. Okay, so for this particular, let's just say that we want it to be an anchor tag that when you click on it, we can read more about our portfolio. Okay, no, let's say we want it to be maybe CV. Okay, so let's say that we included CV. Okay, so let me just say download CV. Let's say download CV. Okay, now this should be an href. Okay, this should have an attribute called href, just like the image is having an attribute called width, source, alt. This anchor tag also has some few what attribute. One is the href. So this is what gives the path to the links, I mean the things that we want this anchor tag to hold. So for the image, for instance, we said that the source will enable us to point to where the image is located. With the anchor tag to the href helps us to do something similar, where we specify the links, the endpoint of the links that we want to include on our web pages. Okay, so this is hyperreference. The full meaning is hyperreference. Okay, or a link reference like that. You can choose to say that, but technically it is what, hyperreference. So let's say that let's include one document in our project and say that we want this one to be cv.pdf. okay, let's punch in random text. So let's say this is my CV, and then save this one and close it. Now when we come here, let's say that we want this one to be cv.pdf. okay, and then let's see what we have inside the web page. So when I saved it, you can see that it is reflected here like that. So let me try and then click on this one and see what happens. You see it has triggered a download for the CV for me. Okay, yes, it has triggered a download. So that is how to include perhaps CV or any other thing that you think should be a link. When it is clicked on, can perform the intended action that you want. Okay, so we wanted it to be like when you click on it, it should download our CV for us. Okay, so that is what we've been able to do and achieve. Let's see what is next in the list. Okay, now with a break tag, there isn't anything that we've done that we can say we've actually implemented, or we can implement the break tag. Okay, put a full stop here. Now let me say that let me continue with a paragraph here and say that let's go to let's create another paragraph. Okay, let's create another paragraph and say that we are a group we are a group of individuals who are passionate about creating digital product or services to help solve challenging problems and also make businesses work smart. Individuals, what is wrong? Individuals, okay, there's an I here. Okay, so let's say we save this one. Let's see the output in here. So let me just maximize this one. Let me expand it. And this one is not reflecting. Why? Okay, let's go back and then do this. Okay, why is our live server not working? Okay, so you can see that this text continues to, it hits the maximum space it can occupy on the current screen, then it continues on the next line. I don't want that. I want it to break just after the digital product. Okay, so creating, so it should break somewhere here. Okay, and then this line of text will continue on the next line. So let's see how we can do that. So let's say that where the creating is here, passionate helping create, no, not this one. Yes, this one here. So we are just going to say that we want a break tag. So what we do is we open a less than and then we type br and then we close it like that, like so. Now this is also a self-closing tag. The br is also a self-closing tag. Okay, so let's see what we have on the website. You can see that as intended, initially the text was just continuing to the very end here before it breaks and then continues by itself, but we have forced it to end here and then continue on the next line. Okay, so that is it about the break tag. Now there is this one last tag that I want us to talk about, the center tag. So as you can see, all the things that we've been able to implement on our web page right now, it's all aligned to the left of the website or the web page. Okay, so I want everything to be centered. So let me just start from the top here and then highlight up to the anchor tag here, then right click and then cut it. Then I'll just type center or implement the center tag like so. Okay, then I'll just paste the rest of the codes in it and then make sure I save it. Okay, just have to go to the file and then make sure you save it. So let's go and then see what we have on the website. As you can see, everything has been aligned to the center of the web page. So that is the center tag. All right, so those are some of the few tags that we would want to introduce ourselves to in this particular session. Hopefully we are going to continue to explore some of the other tags that are available in the subsequent videos. If you find this video informative and very interesting too, kindly hit the like button, and then if you've not subscribed to the channel too, kindly do that for me. It motivates me to put in much effort to create interesting content for you. Okay, and also when you like the video, it helps YouTube to recommend the video to other YouTubers or other viewers that are available out there. All right, so kindly do that for me. I will appreciate it. This is it for this particular session. Hopefully we'll meet again. But until then, I wish you all the best and a happy learning. Pleasure. Bye.